What's up, everybody? So, got the Aircat 1150 here. Been a good gun, but the little selector switch here keeps sticking up on me. So we're gonna take her apart, see what we can figure out about her. Like I said, it's been good to me. I've had it for roughly 8 months now, and I haven't had any issues with it until a few days ago. This totally locked right up on me. I mean, I was even tapping it with a hammer. It wouldn't budge. So we're gonna pull her apart, take a looky what's going on. We just got some Torx bits here, and they are T25s. So we're gonna get those loosened up. See what we can see. Alright. Now, interestingly enough, I did my research before I picked out one of these, and I found this same gun, at least what looks to be the same gun, used by Mac. Had the same body, same shape, and everything. So I don't know if they still use them. You know, obviously rebranded. Big tool companies, they do that all the time. You know, why spend all the money to do all the research and do all the tooling and everything when we can just pay and rebrand it and sell it for a premium dollar, you know, whatever. So take these guys out here. They look to be like, I don't know, M6s maybe? I don't know. Either way, so take the hammers housing here off of the casting. Okay, so here is our hammer housing. Spline drive there. Gauges onto the pneumatic motor, lack of a better term. This is a twin hammer design. Aluminum housing here. Nothing super fancy. It does have a little grease fitting there, which actually doesn't work for me. I tried to use it and it just splits out the side, doesn't do shit all. So here's our twin hammers, and here, let's see if I can get this out. It's only the second time I've had this apart. First time was to grease it. I think I actually have to pull these pins. I'm not gonna do that right now. So maybe that'll be in a future video. Oh, no, there we go. Okay. So here is the anvil side 1/2-inch drive. This is what is going to be driving the hammers. So that's smacking back and forth here. And then the hammers themselves are retained by these pins, and they're just literally whomping around here. That's where you get your oomph from. So we'll just set that aside right now. Wipe off the grease. A little bit of grease never hurt ya. Okay. Getting into the handle, we have this guy just slides off. A little ball bearing here. Looks to be aluminum. A couple of ports here for air and whatnot, and this is your little alignment hole here. Now that guy lines up with this little pin here. So if you don't line it up right, what's going to happen is that little pin's going to drop into here, and I'll show you that. You just give it a little wiggle and it should lock. If it doesn't, the thing's going to slide around like this, and your cutouts here for your fasteners go through the housing are not going to go through. They're not going to actually line up, and this is going to be all fuckered up. It won't do anything for you. So here is our motor, more or less. Okay, air's coming in, spins it, drives the hammers, yada yada yada. Pretty straightforward. So we're going to slide this guy out. There goes all of our fins. These rest inside of these cutouts here. So those are going to rest in here like so. And what happens is this is cut, or this pilot hole here is offset to the center line of this housing. So when this drops in, you can see that it's offset. So as it spins, these fins will come out as they go around and drive it, and they will start to come back in as it reaches the top. And that's how you get your flow there. Pretty decent looking part. It's got some weight to it. So looks decent. No, nothing crazy. Now these are just little plastic fins, and this kind of bugs me. Take a little knife here. Yeah, she shaves right off, so it's not glass fiber reinforced. It's just bullshit plastic. It's not actually even stamped with anything. So those are probably gonna wear out pretty quick. Whatever, it is what it is. So if you get really any major power loss, it's gonna be within this housing here. It's gonna be these plastic fins more than likely. Especially, it's hard to see. Let me get the little flashlight out. See that spot? Looks like a high spot in the casting. So what's happening is, as these fins are rolling around here, and there's no other high spots that I noticed, that spot right there, and I can actually feel it with my finger. It's got some, it's kind of chunky there. So what's gonna happen is those fins are going around and around and around, and it's gonna slowly shave these away on the back side. And who knows, they might mesh up pretty well and not really create much power loss, but at the same time it might completely eat it. And next thing you know, you're hitting the trigger and she ain't really doing much. So now we're gonna pull the little selector switch off here. Now she's working right now, and I don't know what's going on with it. It locks up on me, it won't work, and then I come back to it later and it's like, oh, yep, I'm working now. Like, oh, okay, whatever. So, but I have a Milwaukee 1/2-inch electric at work that I use when this thing crapped out on me. So this little switch here, it's just got a little flat cutout, lines up with this guy. Boom, boom. You know, you get your forward, your reverse, and your 3 forward speeds. This housing here, it just pushes out, but the fit on it is pretty tight. So I'm gonna get the old whacking stick out. Boom, we're in. We're gonna pull this handle housing off here, and I didn't notice any stampings on it. CE, China export, go figure. That's pretty standard nowadays. And there's this little gasket in here, so you have your air coming in on the inlet side. Gasket, you don't want leakage between your housing here, so pretty straightforward. There is seems to be a paper gasket. It's crappy paper, keeps the air from escaping out of your selector switch. So, boom. Then on the back side, we also have this metal spacer here. So I think this is just a shim, because this is a little recessed here. So it's just boom, now it's relatively flush. Don't know, just whatever. Keeps it seated, I guess. So that's that. So here's our housing. Also looks to be aluminum. Not too terrible. There's some scuff marks on her. It's kind of sharp there. Nothing overly crazy. A little rubber O-ring here. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Now, this unit here, this is where your selector switch is. You have your reverse detent, 1, 2, and 3 forward. There's a little spring ball in there. So what I do, stick that on there. We're gonna get her out of the way. There's the ball bearing. Do not lose the ball bearing. Good luck finding another one. There's also a spring in here. Pull the little spring out. So, there's our spring. Keeps tension on the ball. So now you can take this guy off. And this should just come right out. A little bit of effort. I think that's part of the problem right there. It's just a little bit too tight. So here is the, I guess the baffle, whatever controls the flow, airflow here. It's got a rubber O-ring around it, helps seal it. I'm not really seeing any noticeable reasons why I should be catching up, unless the O-ring is binding, which now that I'm kind of pushing on it, it's hard to see, but she's popping out there. She's not very tight. So maybe I'll have to throw a different O-ring in there if it keeps giving me problems. Other than that, I don't see anything on the casting here that's fucked up. Now on this guy, I do have some wear marks in here. It's kind of hard to see. My lighting's shit. But you can see down in here, you see that ring? Yeah. It's wearing in there. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but that could be creating some shavings or just kind of chunkiness that's going to keep her from spinning properly. So now we also have another ball bearing back here. Looks like, yeah. An NBK. 1009 or a 6001. I guess it depends on which way you read it. So and it's hard to see as well, but you see these little punch marks there? These are punched in. It helps retain that bearing. So it slides in and boom, they punch it, keeps the weeble wobbles out of it. So, you know, that's that. So what I think the issue is this O-ring is either binding up or I am getting caught up on some of this housing. So I'm just going to take a little Scotch-Brite here. I'm going to rough her up. Maybe it'll smooth her up. Who knows? Make sure we get all the poo out of there. So the surfaces to the finger feel okay. A little bit of roughness around these ports, but where that either the O-ring or the actual baffle here is riding, it seems to be pretty tight right there. Doesn't want to spin very well. Like right at the top, it's just ugh. Don't really like that. We're gonna push her back in. Just as a little test here. Oh yeah. You can hear it. I mean, she's rubbing, but nice and smooth. So maybe that's not the issue. Maybe, let me get this back out. Come on, you little shit. There we go. Maybe on these detents here, you see that wear line where that ball is running? We have some little dimples on the edges of these detents where the ball is hopping, you know, it's being pushed down and popping out of those detents, you know, in both directions, obviously. So maybe she's getting hung up on those, or we haven't worn her in enough yet. It doesn't feel like it's grooved out, just some surface finish that's kind of rubbed off there. So, I don't know. We'll stick her back together and run it until she cries, I guess. So, drop our little spring in here. Once again, don't lose your balls. Keep them in the wife's purse. Safe to keeping, you know. Push that in. Boom. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Back to reverse. Well, she feels like she's working okay right now, so I'll stick her back together and run it. Why not? So our paper gasket is going to go back on. That goes on the OD. And then our metal shim sits there. Now this cutout for this O-ring here, this part of the casting, is going to line up with slots in there. So you stick it through here and you just kind of watch it through the back. She's not lined right up. push her till she's snug. There we go. She's in. Cool. Alright. So, we're going to get her rotor back in here. Drop her right in, give her a little spin for fun. Whatevs. Now, I don't remember how these shims go in. You can see that there's a little notch on this side, but not on this side. So, we're going to drop her in with the notch facing up. Could be part of the casting to say, hey, stupid, this side goes up. So we'll throw her in like that. If we notice anything funny or feel like she's not powerful enough, we'll take her back apart, flip them over, see if it does anything for us. Flat sides go towards the outside of the housing. That's going to give you your nice seal for your spinach. So you see how we have them feathered out here and they come back in. Okay, so now we're going to line up our alignment hole here with our pin. Drop that into place. Should. Was I way off? Oh yeah, I was way off. Wow, okay. Come on. Right, there we go. See now? Okay, so we dropped it into one of the ports. See that? I shouldn't do that. Alignment pin. Facing up. Come on, stupid. It's not that hard. There we go. Boom. She's in. We're good. Golden. Golden. So now, I'm going to drop our hammers. Orientation does not matter as long as you got the pointy bit sticking out the end. Boom, she's in. Set that aside. Have a rubber gasket that goes between our composite housing and our aluminum hammer. Give that a little bit of a wipe down. This literally is just keeping the air in and the crud out. Now it looks like this bottom side is a little bit thicker and she's got a couple little indentations here. Looks like it probably rested about where the trigger was, so orientation's not really going to matter as long as it seals. So now, I'm going to go ahead and stick two halves together, give her a little flipperoni, drop our fasteners in. You should feel them drop past that gasket. If it's aligned, don't push it through. If it's not going on its own, you will damage your gasket. And honestly, if none of the tool trucks sell this crap, then you're probably not going to be able to get replacement parts very easy. I don't know though. I haven't had to get any replacement parts yet. It's kind of the point of buying it was hopefully I won't have to. Motherfucker. Get this greasy shit all over me. And last one. Come on, you little bitch. I'm just gonna snug it up, a little hand snug. Click, click, good. Special torque settings. Okay, go ahead and stick our selector switch back on. We were on reverse, and of course I lost my screw. Nope, there it is. Okay. Drop our little retainer screw back in there. And when I tighten this down, I always do this one hand tight. And you should be able to tighten it up to enough. Oh, my hands are greasy as fuck, but tighten it up enough and you'll actually move the selector to the first position here. That's tight enough. 1, 2, 3, and back to reverse. So she seems to be working fine now, but I guarantee I'll get 5 minutes into my first job tomorrow and throw her in the garbage. So we'll see. Maybe I'll update you guys later. Give it a few days. If she breaks, and we might go out and get a proper impact gun. Alright, that's about that. So I'll talk to you guys later.